It's about many partnerships. So it's a big idea from what I've described over here as sometimes an eccentric leader about an amazing vision. For example, Zealandia is a 500-year vision, and it's taken partnership with Māori and local people who can really see the opportunity to come together on that. But also, it's meant that councils and our big institutions need to have policies in place that set the direction that this is the way the city wants to go. And the community have fed into those strategies and policies to set the direction. But then what, as a council, we've needed to do is not control that and create an environment where local community groups can come together at their own will, and the council literally supports them by growing the native trees, for example, and helping supply and get those to local community groups. And in Zealandia's case, we've formed a CCO so that this entity, which had a shaky start being a fenced urban sanctuary, and that we've been able to support it in that way as one of the business units of the Wellington City Council. And then for predator-free, that's required funding and support, and in a slightly different mechanism. So there's not a one-size-fits-all. It's about working organically with what's forming in the community. Provide clear communication on what it needed from the public. As a New Zealander, I would say most of us live there because we love our country because of our natural environment. And so it's in our DNA that we want to help to be able to make sure that our native trees and our native birds are coming back. So Predator-Free provided very clear communication on we need all of you in your community, or at least every second house, to have a trap, and they were giving out traps, and then they would measure how many rats or stoats or weasels were being caught. And I talked earlier today about there's a program where you photograph your dead rat or your dead stoat and you put it up on the website to say this is what we caught today. But what that's created is a movement. Now that we've got one part section of the city, Predator-Free Wellington are moving into the more central part of the city. What is unique about this partnership is it started, as I understand, maybe over 25 years ago, to have a community that loves to ride bikes, dirt bikes, and get dirty and hoon around on hills and up and down, to start to say, hey, we can be part of this conservation effort, and to build a community with we call it a kaupapa, which is a Māori word for values. They have the foundations that, along with that joy that they get, their contribution is that they can plant trees along the way. And so that is what is so beautiful about that story, is that they are getting to have their enjoyment and hoon around on the hills of Wellington, but they're also contributing massively to the conservation of the area, which means they care, but it also means they're bringing in the next generation of people that love outside activities, which is what we want, but they are also showing that they need to contribute back into the system, and the system we have is that we love our native trees and we want to see more because it is a habitat for our native birds. So from a very young age, young people are planting trees and it's just part of their daily, and we want to ride bikes around our city as well. It's quite beautiful. The key thing here has been building relationships and partnerships. None of these projects work without private, public, community, and especially partnerships with our Māori people. And so this is what's so beautiful. This project, Capital Kiwi, is a pinnacle of all of these things coming together, that we're now releasing our natural bird back into the wild And we are hearing that sound once again. And what that is doing is bringing hope for the world, as it is getting a lot of media attention that these things can happen, and it's bringing hope for our young people. I think now also with Capital Kiwi, this is going to really put Wellington on the map of places to visit for ecotourism. What I get very excited about myself, we also have amazing hills to walk, and because the hills are so high and rugged, the views are absolutely second to none. And even all my life I've been walking them and they still take my breath away when I walk these hills, and I would like to see that being more of a focus on top of all these other things for Wellington as an ecotourism destination. For me, what it means is I can go back to our communities, and each and every person that plants a tree or weeds or traps, this award is for them, or the acknowledgement is for them, and that their work and the impact we are making for our environment is being recognised globally is a really great story for us to hear.